and welcome to Sauer Field at Capital Park for the district championship between Franklin County's Lady Flyers and the Great Cross.
It is championship night here in the 41st District Tournament at Sauer Soccer Field, and we've got all the action coming up for you. The girls going to battle first, the Lady Flyers of Franklin County taking on Great Crossing. We've got starting lineups, we've got the national anthem, so stay with us here on the Cable 10 Game of the Week.
Number 6, senior J.D. Dummett. Number 23, senior Amelia Mo Wells. Number 17, senior Audrey Wells. Number 3, senior Anna Stivers. Number 18, junior Anne-Marie Bentley. Number 15, junior Dolores Boateng. Number 1, sophomore Avery Bowler. Number 11, sophomore Ryan Desponnet. Number 21, sophomore Brett Hall. Number 4, sophomore Miriam Shaweka. Number 9, sophomore Mariah Price. Your starting lineup for the Lady Warhawks. Number 21, senior Cameron Smith. Number 29, senior Brooklyn Couch. Number 11, junior Gracie Gordon. Number 3, sophomore Seton Hawkinsmith. Number 12, sophomore Cameron Crump. Number 7, sophomore Tori Skaggs. Number 24, sophomore Meredith Turner. Number 33, sophomore Olivia Knopfsinger. Number 10, freshman Kaylee Tyson. Number 32, freshman Julia Baker. And number 35, junior Kimora Tillman. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please rise, remove your hat, and direct your attention toward the American flag. The privilege of this game is made possible by those who have fought and continue to fight for the freedoms we enjoy today. Let us honor and respect their efforts and our country with the play of our national anthem. The National Federation of High
Call David Toll's Auto Pro for all your automotive needs.
Don't let your car keep you from making important plans. Take it to David Toll's Auto Pro, 515 Duncan Road and 1348 Versailles Road.
We depend on the internet for so much these days, but not all Kentuckians have access to reliable broadband service. That's why Kentucky Farm Bureau joined the American Connection Project, and we now provide free Wi-Fi access from the parking lots of nearly 200 KFB locations across the state. You see, Kentucky Farm Bureau does more than just insure homes and autos. We help ensure that more Kentuckians stay connected. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
We are at Sauer Soccer Field, Night 3 championship night of the 41st District Tournament. The boys coming up a little bit later, but we are starting off with the girls game. Great Crossing, the Lady Warhawks, the 1 seed coming in here, taking on the Franklin County Flyers alongside Chris Cole. I'm John Piesheimer, and on behalf of the entire Cable 10 crew, want to thank everybody for having tuned in over these last 3 nights. Seen a lot of good action, a lot of just, it's good to see, you know, the kids getting out here, and, you know, we've had, obviously we're kind of just getting back in the swing of things. Last year was kind of still a little bit trying to recover from basically taking a year, or just having an off-on year. And it's just good to see this again. It's one of my favorite events of the year.
As a parent of a former player in the 41st District, you know, we're seeing some familiar faces out here on the field. Great Crossing has been a staple since they come into the 41st District. And then Franklin County, first trip back to the finals in a few years. But good to see County back in the championship game. So, you know, these 2 teams met earlier in the season. Great Crossing came out on top 5-0 in that one. But it's district, it's a new season.
Yep.
Anything can happen.
They don't play the games on paper, and on paper it does look like Great Crossing would definitely have the advantage, but, you know, you could have said the same thing about that game on Tuesday night between these Lady Flyers and the Lady Wolverines of Western Hills, because Western Hills, we talked about it a lot during the game, were down so many bodies in that game. As Franklin County with an early chance here. That's going to be a corner kick. Franklin County showing some spunk early, but as I was saying, Western Hills were down so many bodies due to a lot of kids being out on fall break, but they really fought hard. They have a lot to take away from that game, and really they were in the game the entire time.
Well, and, you know, Western Hills graduated 7 seniors last year, 7 the year before. So that's 14 players in the last 2 years. That was really the core nucleus of that program's rise up over the last few years. They're young. Chris Heller, first year for Western Hills as the head coach. She was the assistant last year, took over for Chris Brady. And I think you're right, John. I think she has a lot to take away from this season and the way her girls fought being shorthanded the other night.
Yeah, and you look at these 2 teams, you mentioned the youth of Western Hills, and you could really say the same thing about both of these squads if you look at them going up and down the roster. Of course, with the Lady Flyers, you've got the Wells sisters that are seniors on this team, as well as Anna Stivers, the goalkeeper. But getting beyond that, a lot of sophomores you're seeing on there. And, you know, we talked about it earlier, Great Crossing, as well as they played this season, they have a lot of kids who will be likely back next year. That's a scary proposition if you're another coach here in the 41st District.
Yeah, I mean, they've been very strong coming out of the gate, being a new school, which you have so much to pull from over at Scott County. But, you know, they're defending district champs by the hair. They're chinny chin chin last year.
That's right.
And but what an odd district tournament we had last year with weather delays, playing half a game on Thursday night, the other half on Friday afternoon. But this week the weather has been absolutely perfect.
Yeah, it's been fantastic, and it's been a pleasure to be out here. We've had good crowds, we've had some good games, we've got a lot of good spirit shown by all the teams here, and that's going to continue tonight, as this has been a kind of cagey affair so far. Both these teams just kind of testing each other out a little bit, and then later on is Great Crossing here, a nice cutback, just dribbling defenders, finally gets crowded off the ball, but Great Crossing has it back. And that's one thing we saw that Great Crossing was able to do. They were able to bring that back line so far forward just by camping out in Frankfort High's half, and even when you clear the ball, it's likely to go to an enemy shirt. If you're Frankfort High that night, it seems like the Flyers, that's one of the things they're really going to have to watch out for tonight.
Yeah, I mean, 11 players on the offensive end of the field, and that makes it hard to get anything into your territory trying to look to score a goal.
Got an early corner here for Great Crossing. And this is one of those trouble areas because on this side of the field, this is what Anna Stivers is going to be looking at. The sun is directly in your eyes. She is staying on her near post. It's headed back. Coming over to grab that is number 33, Olivia Knopfsinger, the sophomore. That'll be a throw in for Great Crossing. Little coming together between Seton Hawkins-Smith for Great Crossing there and Audrey Wells, number 17, the senior for Franklin County. I saw the Frankfurt up there on the scoreboard. I think that's what got me confused.
John, this is one of the probably more iconic areas in Central Kentucky to see a soccer game, in my opinion. You know, Hills County and Frankfurt High shared this complex for years, up till the last couple with both the county schools getting turf. But I love doing games and being at games down here. It's just something about being down here near the river. It's kind of bold with the stadium and everything. But
yeah, it just looks like it was made for this. And that's one of the things, too, you know, from a purely aesthetic standpoint. And to take nothing away from Franklin County, the tournament last year was great. A lot of great action. But you're right, there's just something also really special about just having it here due to the atmosphere. You're in the shadows of the Capitol, literally. And also just the fact that we're playing on grass instead of turf. And that's a different element, especially for these, you know, for County and Hills. Yeah, because they're mostly playing on turf when they play their home games.
Well, and just about every school in the 11th region is a turf school, with maybe the exception of Sayre and Berea. All the Lexington schools, both Scott County schools are turf fields, Madison County included.
And you understand why they do it, just for maintenance and, you know, and such, but especially for soccer, and I know it is for every other sport, and you could definitely speak to football for yourself, you know, having played and coached it, but for soccer, it adds such a different element, just the surface. And a lot of times, even in, you know, professional leagues, teams will manipulate the way the grass is grown and the way the grass is kept to their style of play. Whether they want the ball to play a little bit faster or slower, that'll be the level that they cut the grass.
Sounds like this sometimes.
Yeah, and it used to be the same thing with football. If you had a real fast team, you wanted your grass cut short so that it wasn't catching in the cleats. And same thing here. But what I enjoy as a parent that has had a daughter that has went from turf in high school back to natural grass in college, forgot how enjoyable, because not every bounce is true. You can be dribbling on a wide open break and it hit a bump and it goes the opposite direction you were intended for.
And, you know, just tell everybody kind of, you know, your daughter played for Western Hills last year, and now she is carrying on her career in college.
Yes, she is playing center back for Cheryl Smith, well-known coach at Frankfurt High on the boys circuit for many years in the 41st District. Now he is the tenured coach at Midway for the ladies Eagles, and my daughter was fortunate enough to go on and continue her soccer career and play over there for Cheryl.
And you're fortunate enough that it's about a 20-minute drive away.
It is. Those mid-afternoon games are rough to get to sometimes, but we've got hope. They're getting ready, with them having football coming in as a new sport at the school. They're getting ready to build a turf complex, going to have lights and have some night games coming soon.
Yeah, there's a lot of exciting things going on over there. And so far in this game, this is not really going the way it went the last time for Great Crossing. Franklin County has been able to stand up, and I think they're a lot more organized than Frankfurt was the other night. I think they, you know, you could tell there's just a little bit more. And Frankfurt High is still very, even in the you know, with respect to how young all these teams are, I think Frankfort High especially, there's, you know, they didn't have a lot of experience coming back, and, you know, they put up a noble fight, but Great Crossing just basically spent the entire game in the Frankfort High half.
Well, Dan Rogers, the coach at Frankfort High, he gets so much out of his players year in and year out, and always low in numbers, but he gets great fight out of his girls year in, year out, and it's hard to replace, in my opinion, one of the best keepers in the region in Caroline McClavick that you've had back there for the last several years. She graduated last year as well. There's been a lot of great talent here in Franklin County. I've been watching a lot of these girls since they were 4 years old at the YMCA and beyond, and grow. But this sport is in a great place right now here in the capital city.
Yeah, that's a good point. As we've got the goalkeeper for Great Crossing, Kamora Tillman, the junior, getting ready to take the goal kick. We've got a substitution here, and coming in, number 29, Isabel Powell, another senior coming in for Franklin County. So I think between the Wells sisters, Anna Stivers, and Isabel Powell, those are the 4 seniors on this Franklin County team.
And you know, 2 years ago, County graduated 13 off of 1 year, and they just, that's hard to recover from.
Yeah.
It takes a couple years to rebuild that. Lucky enough, as a Hills parent, we were able to kind of spread ours out over 2 classes. But any team, that much depth, Frankfort High could be facing that on the boys' side. Next year, they have 12 seniors this year.
Think about it, you know, compare it to basketball, that would be like your starting 5 and your first 5 off the bench being gone in the span of a couple of years. And that's basically, you know, that sort of empty cupboard is what you're talking about. And, you know, there are a lot of those things that you have to teach that you didn't have to teach before.
Yeah, I mean, by the time these girls get juniors and seniors, if they have the coach that has been there, you already know what your game plans are going in. For the most part, you know, there's not going to be a whole lot of changes, whether it's different formations for facing this team or a different formation that you're going to play and move with, you know, against somebody else.
That rolls into the hands of Anna Stivers there in the goal. We're about a little over 10 minutes in here, and I dare say Franklin County's frustrating Great Crossing a little bit. Lady Warhawks really haven't been able to sort of kind of control the box as they did against Frankfort High, but they are still sticking to the plan, and that's a through ball, and that's going to be tough. Stivers, good job of coming out there. I think she kind of saw that develop a little bit before it happened, but that's a nice through ball that was played there by Great Crossing.
You know, Stivers kind of cheated up to the top of the goalie box there and able to get a little bit of a jump on that. But one thing I have noticed that County has done is they're really packing it in on the defensive end. You've only got Mo Wells out at a near midfield. The rest of the team is really in tight in that lower 18.
Yeah, and that's one of those things. It's not just about putting bodies behind the ball, too. You have to be talking to each other. You have to be coordinated, because the one thing you don't want is a bunch of white jerseys in there that really aren't talking to each other or trying to consume the same space in a small amount of space. And when the ball starts bouncing around in there and takes a bad deflection, you've got to call for the ball. You've got to call when you're covering the space behind someone that goes for the ball. And it just takes a lot of communication. So far, Franklin County doing a great job of that.
Yeah, and I think, you know, it's I don't want to be that guy, but...
Oh, go ahead. You're fine.
County, you know, just played 2 nights ago with the one night off last night. It has been since Monday that Great Crossing played.
There's a shot, and nice save that time by Anna Stivers at her near post. Laid out to get that one.
And that was coming right at us here in the production truck.
Yeah, let's take a look at the replay here. That is the freshman, I believe, for Great Crossing, number 10. She had a hat trick in the last game, Kaylee Tyson. Takes a rip at it and nearly dents the scoreboard for the first time for Great Crossing. They'll have a corner here. Stivers just has to bat that one out. I think maybe she wouldn't be looking into the sun there, but I think that may have had a little bit more velocity than she thought, but good job. Put it right where her defender could get to it. But again, Great Crossing pushing so many bodies forward, and they can do that because Franklin County has to have so many bodies behind the ball.
Yeah, and I mean, County is
so here's where you've got to, excuse me, that's where you can tell kind of what they're doing, because they're trying to get the ball, they're trying to counterattack. They've got Mo Wells there. She's really kind of staying on or around midfield, and as soon as they get a look at possession, they've got to do that. But Great Crossing trying to do them one better in that respect is Tyson nearly taking on a couple of Flyers there, nearly getting by. That'll be a throw in for Great Crossing between the benches.
Yeah, County's doing a really good job of countering everything that Crossing is throwing at them right now. Stivers had a great save. Really the first shot on goal we've had, and that was about a minute or so ago. So we're about 15 minutes in before Great Crossing really got their first good shot on goal.
Yeah, and that's, if you're Franklin County's coach, Brian Arthur, that's exactly what you want to see. You want to just kind of play the game in phases. You know, okay, we'll get through this. We haven't given up any goals yet. You know, we haven't gotten a lot going forward, but, you know, if you look at what happened the last time these two teams played, it was 5-0 Great Crossing. First mission, just keep the ball out of your own net. Then we can think about moving forward with it.
But, you know, anytime Great Crossing is getting into a position to try that cross, County's doing a really good job kicking it out or getting it out of bounds and forcing a throw in, or in this case, a corner kick.
Corner comes in, nice placement, and that nice stop right at the goal line, and that will be a goal kick. Fantastic stop there right off the goal line by Avery Bowler, the sophomore. Right place, right time, and that is exactly what you want your defenders to do. She was standing on goal line. She knew exactly where to cover, because right there, that's just kind of one of those nightmare spots.
Yeah, and especially with her keeper looking directly in the sun.
Exactly.
I mean, you got a great picture right there. Stivers with her hand up.
And Franklin County will get a free kick.
On the play. Free kick for the Flyers.
And I think you're already seeing just, you know, to play the way Franklin County is right now, it just takes a lot of organization, a lot of sticking to the plan, and a lot of communication and, you know, working with each other. And a lot of it, too, is staying calm, because you're going to be facing a lot of pressure.
Yeah, and Great Crossing's doing a really good job of the one touch and then getting rid of the ball. The most I've seen is maybe 2 dribbles out of a player, and that's if they have a lot of space, but they're really communicating well and looking for their teammates.
One thing Great Crossing that David Daly, who worked the first 2 games with me, one thing that we noticed is how many Great Crossing players are confident with both feet, and that's so important.
And that's huge at this level, which that goes to a lot of the training that they're getting, whether it's at Kings Hammer or Sporting FC or Bluegrass or even GFC over in Georgetown. A lot of these girls playing club, growed up playing club, so they're really touching a ball with both feet year round. Wasn't as popular the last few years, but it's getting more and more. I think I heard you guys the other night on the broadcast talking about how the state of Kentucky's in the top 10 as far as youth soccer in the United States, which is really impressive, considering it's a basketball, football state.
Exactly. Yeah, we've seen a lot of growth in the sport and a lot of growth in the quality of play over the years that I've been doing these games and just been involved with these broadcasts in general. And, you know, you get to see a lot more of it than I do, and I'm sure just in the time that you've seen it with your daughter growing up and now, it's just the quality of play from top to bottom, I think, has raised quite a bit, especially on the girls' level.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you used to see girls, whether it was right-footed or left-footed, they were so dominant to their, dominant foot.
Yeah.
Is, in my opinion, the big difference, the playing level that you see now compared to what it was even 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, and last year I can remember as we see this corner coming in from Great Crossing, coming to meet it, Franklin County again clearing the danger well.
But right there's another Warhawk right at the top of the 18, ready to almost fire it right back at the goal.
And one thing Franklin County will have to watch out for is anybody that was with us for the game between Franklin County and, between Great Crossing and Frankfort High. Great Crossing really had their shooting boots on that night. They were shooting a lot from distance and able to get in that position right around the top of the box with their back to goal and the ball at their feet and turn and shoot, which is a really, really difficult bit of skill to do, and they've not been able to really do that tonight.
And Franklin,
and that is just headed wide.
Franklin
that was
County
a fantastic cross.
Doing a really good job bodying up the offensive players.
Let's take a look at the replay here.
Just wide.
Yeah, Gracie Gordon, she had a goal in that game on Monday night. She had the whole goal to look at, just couldn't really get, she got a little bit of her head to it, but just didn't really get any direction on it. The one thing about the way Franklin County is playing, I'll say, and they played really well so far. We were 22 minutes gone in the first half. Really, once you get around this time, and especially, as I'll pause on that as Great Crossing takes a shot from distance, it's punched out by Stivers. Nobody coming in for the rebound for Great Crossing that time. One thing I'll say about that is that takes a lot of running back and forth, kind of doing the not fun work, chopping wood almost. And that can really sort of get into your legs with, 10 minutes and under in the half.
Well, another thing too is Crossing is, their spacing is very well critiqued. Nobody's getting in each other's space. There's that save.
That's a fantastic save by Stivers.
Going to her left, getting her left palm on it, just enough.
Nice save that time, clear out, and that was Mo Wells coming up, helping out the defense.
Mo and Audrey.
Tyson taking another shot, that one sneaks by. That's rough for Stivers because she's looking right into the sun there, but Tyson with another goal from distance. That is her 4th in the tournament. Great Crossing taking the lead at 16:56 left in the first half.
Those shots are the ones that's tougher in the sun.
Yeah, tougher in the sun, and this is just, she gets a great foot to it here. It's a nice shot with the left foot, and she's in the sun, and it takes a bounce right before it gets to her. That's a goalie's nightmare.
Yeah, it's low. Great crossover there.
Yeah.
Kicks it with her left foot into the opposite corner and low.
Yeah, fantastic job of creating the space to take the shot too.
And that's hard to coach.
Yeah.
I mean, that takes natural ability. You can't really coach that at this level.
So that is goal number 21 on the season for Kaylee Tyson. She leads them in scoring with 21 on the season along with 2 assists. now for Franklin County, excuse me, like, I think part of the pressure now is, you know, I was talking about your legs are getting a little heavy. You've had to do a lot of defending, and you sort of have that momentum of not having conceded a goal. Well, now there's one on the board. The tough thing is just not getting your head down and not, you know, letting Great Crossing knock another 2 or 3 in here, because this you have right now is recoverable.
Oh, yes.
If key is just getting out of it clean, you know, and not making it worse than it is.
And I think, you know, with Great Crossing so packed in on the offensive side, if you could get a great counter, get a great lead pass out to your offensive side of the ball, and get a quick strike, you've got the advantage here. Franklin County does. It's just getting that possession and the quick counter.
Yeah, and on the other side of that, if you're Great Crossing, you've got the goal now. Franklin County has to think about something besides defending now. They've got to come out a little bit, and they've got to start to try to get a little bit of possession and move. And if you're the type of team like Great Crossing that when you lose the ball, you're immediately putting pressure on. You're playing tight, and you're trying to get that ball back. Franklin County is going to be a little more spread out than they were, and that's going to create space.
And for Great Crossing, Kamari Smith, which I got to see her up close last year for Great Crossing. She is a one-woman wrecking machine on the defense back there for the Warhawks, because she's so fast. She can cover so much field. She doesn't, in the way they're playing on the offensive end, it takes so much for Franklin County to get to the offensive side. She's got enough speed to recover from one side to the other.
Yeah, and that you have the luxury. If you've got a player like that in your side, you've got the luxury of playing the way Great Crossing does, because you know you've got somebody that can cover back and has the speed and the pace to do that, and also the awareness and ability to stay focused, because when you're playing, when you have so much of the ball, that can be hard. And there's another goal. That was perfectly executed quarter that time. Coming in to score there for Great Crossing was Gracie Gordon. That'll be her second goal of the tournament. The Warhawks starting to flex their muscles a little bit here against Franklin County. 2-0 the score, as Great Crossing going up by a brace here.
What a perfect back corner goal kick.
That's a nice run in
Gordon
there too.
Saw it. She comes in right down the corner of the goal box.
And that's designed because Gordon's starting that from well outside the box, and she knows exactly where that ball is going to come, and she knows the run that she's making. Wells, I think she picked up on what it was, but by that point, you know, the cat was kind of already out of the bag, unfortunately, for Franklin County. Great Crossing up 2-0 now.
So, but County's still in this. I mean, 2 goals isn't unthinkable to come back from. But you're right, and you touched on it just a minute ago. Now the mindset's got to change for Coach Arthur and the Lady Flyers. You've got to start thinking offense at some point, which is going to open up your defensive end of the field a little bit and be, you know, a little weaker back there, but you got to start pushing forward and getting some offensive momentum here.
And, you know, that can also be kind of a psychological thing. I think we saw a little bit of that. You know, we talked about the Franklin County Western Hills game from Tuesday night as Great Crossing again playing it in, almost getting that ball across the face of goal. We talked about it a little bit earlier, and if you watch that game, Franklin County and Western Hills really came out of that halftime for about 10 minutes. They were playing really tough, and I think that, you know, maybe conceding a goal for them had really kind of maybe settled their nerves a little bit, because they came out and they looked like a completely different team. They were attacking, they were going about 50-50, even having a little bit more of the possession, which hadn't been the case in the first half. And, you know, you think about what the halftime talk here is and what the strategy going forward is for the Lady Flyers, and that, you know, there could be kind of a psychological thing to, okay, well, we're trying our best to keep them from scoring. That's basically been the focus of our strategy so far. And now they've scored. Now maybe we spread out a little bit. We've got a little bit more flexibility to kind of take some chances.
Yeah, and I think you've got to start taking the fight to them a little bit, not play as much back on your heels, but get on your toes, be ready to, they are spaced out. Look for spacing as you're clearing the ball. Don't just kick it to be kicking it. Look for a teammate that is open in spacing. I know it's easier said than done, but that's what you're trying, as a coach, you're trying to tell your defenders or anybody that's back in that defensive side of the box to not just kick it, but to find a teammate, space, and let a teammate go to it. But it seems like right now, County just clearing to be clearing, and that can be dangerous.
Yeah, that's tough, because not only are you giving Great Crossing the ball back a lot of times, but you're also just kind of making it, you just keep putting yourself under pressure, and it can kind of work on your nerves a little bit, to where you're clearing just to clear, and when you start having tired legs and you do that, you don't get as much behind the ball as you'd like to.
And I think you saw that with Hills in the second half of the first half the other night. They played on emotion the first few minutes of that game, down shorthanded. They really played hard, but when County scored that goal in the first half, it was just kind of deflating. But Coach Heller did a really good job at halftime to pump her girls up, because the first 15 minutes of that second half, Hills probably controlled 90% of the game coming out of the break.
Nice dispossession there by Mo Wells. And that's really who I think they've got to get involved. You know, when Franklin County does have the ball, and she's played kind of pretty well forward so far. Nice clear, actually, that I thought it was a nice clearance. She just didn't really get as much of her foot behind it as she would have wanted to. But that's the problem too, because where they like to play Mo Wells is just a place where she hasn't been able to see a lot of the ball at all so far.
Yeah, County being on their heels in that defensive third of the field. Mo playing up near the midfield. She is a great distributor of the ball, but when she doesn't get that opportunity, because it's not her fault, but she's out of position to really do that for her team, because unable to get a clear to her.
Yeah, and you can see right there, I think she's dropping a little bit further back just to try to kind of have a little bit more influence on this game. Franklin County with a little bit of possession now. And I think there you see it's a little bit of when Great Crossing presses the way they do, and when you get behind a little bit, I think once you do get possession, you feel like you're maybe in a little bit more of a hurry than you actually are. And I think that's kind of a little bit of what Franklin County is going through when they do have possession. And there you see, I think, you know, Mo Wells coming to get the ball, and a little slight touch to somebody that's got a better angle at it. And, you know, Franklin County starting to try to work the ball into the Great Crossing half a little bit.
Yeah, and this is one of the few times that the ball's actually been past the bottom of the circle on the Franklin County side of the field tonight.
Just like that, the Great Crossing threatening again. Nice clearance that time. Great Crossing coming back. And one thing that impresses me about the Warhawks too is just positioning. You know, positioning, you know, moving without the ball. And that's so big. I thought that might have been an offside there, but. And it's not just positioning when you have possession, it's positioning when you don't have possession, kind of anticipating where the ball is going to go without watching the ball.
Yeah, looking for that space. And then you see Kamari come up all the way from the defensive side to give another offensive player for great crossing there.
Yeah, when you can have your fullbacks pushing up like that, you can play that wide, you're really hard to defend.
Little shove there.
Yeah. Yeah, that was number 23 for great crossing. Audrey Addington, the freshman, got into a little tussle with the flyer over there on the far side.
Like good physical play.
And that's going to be cleared out for a corner.
And that's a situation, John, that if, you know, that's 3 foot further to the right, that's a throw-in instead of giving
a lot
them
easier to defend.
Yeah, than a corner kick. And you saw the last corner kick, what happened. And I guarantee you it's the same setup.
This one, a low kick. Coming into firing towards goal. Bounces up, and there to finish it off is number 4, Finley Eisen, freshman. A great crossing. Now starting to really take control of this one.
Yeah, and that was off a deflection. Stivers unable to control it. And then kind of had a feeling that this was coming.
Yeah, that's a tough one because it takes a bounce right before it gets to her and kind of almost hits her right in the neck face area. And just the first to pounce on it. And that's good coaching, because that is something that you're telling your kids when they take a shot from distance, they're testing out the keeper. Make sure you run towards that box, because if that deflects, that's a free shot if you get right place, right time.
Yeah, the you know, that goes back to
big collision there.
U6, U8 rec. Soccer is crash to goal.
Yep.
On a follow, and a lot of goals scored on a deflection at all levels.
Nice turn there. Showing a little bit too much of it, but ball finds its way back out. Here's Cameron Crum. Had it taken away by a flyer. This is, it's still alive now. Franklin County all over the place trying to defend that one. Nearly, if there wasn't a net there, that probably would have hit me right in the side. So, you know, my control isn't what it used to be, so I don't know how much they're going to get out of that. I don't know how much touch I have with my left foot anymore. I don't know if I ever had any.
You would have had to use your head on that one, John.
That's true, but the way it was coming in here, I'm not standing on the ground, so if I played it back, it would have been good.
Good shot of you right there.
I don't know if it's a good shot, but it is a shot. From our broadcast station here behind the Franklin County goal. Right over next to our friends at Community Q, who've been keeping us fed, along with the people here, the organizers that have been working the concession stand. It's been a nice tournament so far from the culinary perspective. And while we're at it, we just want to give a shout out to our sponsors for the 41st District Tournament here on FPB and Cable 10. Our sponsors are David Tolles Auto Pro and J.O. Osborne with Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. Thanks so much for helping us make this broadcast possible here on the Cable 10 Game of the Week.
Yeah, we can't do any of this without support from local businesses. And, you know, David Tolles has been a great supporter of that over the years. And it helps people that may not be able to get down to the football and soccer fields. You know, see, maybe it's a grandparent that can't get down here. And without them, none of this is possible. And
yeah, it's a really unique thing what we're able to do here, and we certainly don't take for granted that the people that make that possible. And, having done these games now, and now the fact that we're streaming, and if you're watching us on the stream, we want to say hello to you out there if you're watching us on Cable 10, or if you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube. We're just glad you're watching us wherever you are, but a lot of more people have the ability to watch these streams and get a lot of compliments on the fact that we're out here and we're able to bring these high school sports to the public in a way that I think they should be.
Well, I work in Lexington and Louisville a lot, and when I talk about doing games, people, what do you mean you do games? And I'm like, our local cable company, we broadcast weekly high school football, high school basketball, high school soccer, baseball and softball, district games throughout the season, and we're really trying to support our youth, among other things that we broadcast throughout the year. It is a neat thing. It's not just radio or newspaper coverage that you get in Franklin County. Getting a break here.
Yeah. And chance to have a big collision over there right on the front of the box. Great crossing. Having to muscle the ball away from Franklin County at that time, but the Flyers finally getting a little bit of space to operate. Stivers with the missed kick. Now she's in trouble. Nice job by recovery by Anna Stivers. Stayed with the play, hustled back, and the ball kind of took a rough bounce there for number 12, Cameron Crump, and just not able to do much with it. But Anna Stivers right there to wrap it up as we get ready to wrap up this first half.
Yeah, and I know the score is 3-0, but Great Crossings really had to work for those 3 goals. Yeah. I mean, the one off the corner kick, that was just a great drawn-up play, but they've really worked for the other 2.
Yeah, and, those, they come off of, one of them was a really nice shot from distance that just took a bad bounce, and I don't know that you can really blame Anna Stivers for either of those. It's just, those are the ones that are really so tough for a goalkeeper to keep out. But be that as it may, 3-0, Great Crossing on top of Franklin County. It's halftime. Stay with us. We've got some highlights for you. We'll see you in a little bit here on the Cable 10 Game of the Week.
Game of the Week is brought to you by David Tolles Auto Pro. You're in good hands with David Tolles Auto Pro. Bring your vehicle to us for the best repairs in the Frankfort area. 2 locations at 1348 Versailles Road and 515 Duncan Road. And check us out at davidtollsautopro.com.
Game of the Week is brought to you by J.O. Osborne with the Franklin County Farm Bureau. The Franklin County Farm Bureau's J.O. Osborne wishes all of our local teams a healthy, competitive, and successful season. J.O. and Kentucky Farm Bureau have been insuring Frankfort since 1943. With them on your team, when you experience a loss from an accident or storm, it can be a real game changer.
It's halftime here in the 41st District Girls Soccer Championship game. Great Crossing up on Franklin County, 3-0, and here's how we got there, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, Franklin County came out really packing it in on the defensive end, trying to force, really tight formations for Great Crossing, but right here, great save by Anna Stivers early in the first half.
And Franklin County holding tough.
Yeah, and then here's another great play. But Great Crossing, little too much offense in the first half. Got one that just squints by Stivers low to her left
That's
corner.
Fantastic placement, too. Got a save by Tyson.
Yeah, and she started out with her right foot crossed over, and then here's the goal kick. Great design play out of the penalty kick there.
And that's a tougher finish than it looks like. You've got to full speed running. You've got to kind of finesse that.
Yeah, and it never touched the ground. She caught that off the air, and then here was the rebound to the putback, which put it 3-0, which is where we're at right now.
3-0 is what Franklin County is looking at. The goal they've got to climb for the second half. How will they do it? We'll find out. Stay with us here. We'll have all the second half action for you here on the Cable 10 Game of the Week.
Game of the Week halftime show is brought to you by Classic Gold. Art-carved class rings are available at Classic Gold Master Jewelers on 859 East Main Street.
Classic Gold Master Jewelers has an amazing selection of jewelry that anyone will love. Classic Gold also provides custom services like pearl restringing, engraving, watch repair, ring resizing, and custom designs. Classic Gold Master Jewelers, 859 East Main Street.
In today's fast-paced housing market, you need realtors with experience who understand that timing is essential when finding the perfect home for the right price. Tim and Rebecca Hubbard with Exit Realty Crutcher are here to ensure that you and your family have a positive experience from start to finish.
Real estate is what we do,
and families are why we do it.
Game of the Week is brought to you by Tim and Rebecca Hubbard with Exit Realty Crutcher. Choose local realtors that treat you like family because real estate is what we do and families are why we do it.
If your property has trees, you know they add beauty and value, but they also have the potential to do serious damage. That's where the team of pros at Estate Tree Service come in. From trimming and shaping to complete removal, including stumps. The team at Estate Tree Service gets the job done, even in an emergency. Estate Tree Service has been the area's premier tree service since 1957, and our long list of satisfied clients can tell you why. The name you know and trust, Estate Tree Service.
Game of the Week is brought to you by Estate Tree Service. We have a solution for all your tree care needs. Estate Tree Service provides expert tree care and preservation. Call 502-229-5258 for a free estimate.
Bob Allen is
Kentucky's Dealmaker. Shop Bob Allen of Frankfort for a winning selection of new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, as well as quality late model pre-owned.
Click and save
at BobAllenFrankfort.com.
Game of the Week is brought to you by Bob Allen. Bob Allen is Frankfort's Dealmaker. Visit Bob Allen's new state-of-the-art showroom at 925 Versailles Road and discover Central Kentucky's best selection of new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram models, as well as pre-owned. Shop BobAllenFrankfort.com.
In 2020, with COVID-19, we had a state mandate shutdown. We relied upon Traditional Bank for their advice and guidance in obtaining the PPP loan. I can appreciate that Traditional Bank is still locally owned. We choose them for health savings accounts. We choose them for any business loan that we need. My name is Dr. Todd Jacobs of Helderman and Jacobs Vision Center. I choose Traditional Bank because they value personal relationships and are highly invested in our community.
Game of the Week is brought to you by Traditional Bank. When your business is looking to win, with tough competition around every corner, you need high performers backing you up. Traditional Bank's local team will stand by your side as a trusted partner, your friendly neighbor, and your biggest fan. It's time to make the switch. Traditional Bank, member FDIC.
Game of the Week is brought to you by Whitehead Hancock. Whitehead Hancock Plumbing has been serving Frankfort families for more than 100 years. You can trust Whitehead Hancock for all your plumbing, heating, cooling, and septic needs. Call them today at 502-227-2213 for 24-hour emergency service or visit their website at whiteheadhancock.com.
FPB knows reliable internet is more important than ever. It lets us work from home, share life with family and friends, and make vital connections online. To help, qualifying customers can now access the new Affordable Connectivity Program and step up to fast, reliable FPB internet at a savings of up to $30 per month. Learn more about this new opportunity. Visit FPB online today.
Even in her current scaffolded state, the old rotunda is still just such a fantastic sight. And that's one of the special things about playing here at Sauer Soccer Field is you are literally in the view, and that's hence the name Capitol View Park. And we are here at the 41st District Girls Soccer Championship here on the Cable 10 Game of the Week alongside Chris Cole. I'm John Piesheimer. Great Crossing up 3-0 on goals from Gracie Gordon, Kaylee Tyson, and Finley Eisen. A more alliterative trio you'll never see.
So Great Crossing starts the second half with the possession here. You got to think we're going to see much of the same from Crossing, just attack, attack, attack.
Yeah, and they're really pressing to get the ball away from Franklin County. But you know what? Right here, Great Crossing a little bit more spread out than they've been for this entire game so far.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's design off of the kickoff or what, but County able to get it into offensive side of the field.
Yeah, we talked about it just a little bit before he came back, and you know, right during halftime, we were both standing just outside the truck here looking at the field, and you could barely see anything just because of the sun directly on this side of the field, and that's what Anna Stivers was dealing with in the Franklin County goal in the first half. That was probably about 6 or 7 minutes ago. Now looking at it, sun is completely gone, so big advantage there for Great Crossing.
Yeah, and I talked about what, you know, Hills over the last couple years got to experience playing up on the west side. Their field is east to west as well. And, you know, Coach Brady and I talked over, you know, as a football coach and with experience on that field, I said, you want to, if you win the coin flip, you want to defend the east side or the west side. So that first half, you're looking east, because that's almost playing 11 on 12 when your keeper is looking into the sun the whole first half of a game.
And here comes Great Crossing.
Just absolutely love their spacing. 1-2 touch.
Yeah, and a lot of it is the real joy there is their spacing and just how they move without the ball. They're passing and moving, and that's how you work the ball down the field as easily as they just did.
And it's a flow.
Yeah.
Everybody is almost in unison as they move down the field.
Yeah, and the tough part for Franklin County is having to decide whether to press, and when Great Crossing has two different options, you never know which passing lane you need to play, because they can always pass to the one where they think it's the easiest one, and that's the benefit of Great Crossing, always having that triangle that you're supposed to have from the ball. Like, you have at least 2 people, if not 3 people, to pass it to, and always knowing what space the ball needs to be played in. There's a narrow corner and almost reaches the knee of Cameron Crump there on the far post.
Yeah, I really like their formation off the corner. Only one player really in the offensive side of the box, but then you've got 2 or 3 crisscrossing and crashing from the top of that 18. That's how they scored that one corner in the first half, and I believe that was off of Gordon's foot off the corner.
Yeah, and a lot of that too is design, because there are 2 basic ways to mark a corner. You can either, you know, kind of, it's a little bit, as here comes the shot just outside.
And the shot is wide.
You can either mark man or you can mark zone, or do zonal marking. You either like defend space or defend, you know, be on the shoulder of an attacker. And if you're kind of crisscrossing up, you're just creating a whole lot of chaos for anybody trying to defend that. As we see that shot from distance, that's a nice save actually by Stivers to punch that one out.
I know County is down 3-0, but Stivers has played really well in this game for the Flyers.
Yeah, she's
Be a goal kick for the Flyers.
done a great job, and again, you know, I don't know that I've pinned any of those goals on her directly in the first half, because those are just very, very difficult. I think any keeper at this level would have a difficult time with either of those goals. this is going to be a difficult time if she can turn that around. That was Seton Hawkinsmith, the sophomore, for Great Crossing.
But yeah, I mean, you had two great shots by Great Crossing that, like you said, a goalie at this level is going to have a tough time defending two of those three. And I mean, the third one, Stalkers had done a great job blocking it, and it just ricocheted off of her, and then the rebound was able to be put back in.
Yeah, there's no coaching or strategizing for bad luck, unfortunately. Here's a nice shot from distance, just couldn't keep it down enough. That was the freshman, Kaylee Tyson, again. And she's going to be a heck of a player.
Yeah. And you know, you
already is.
You tell them when they're lining up that deep shot, don't lean back as much, because that's when the ball sails on you. Try to put your weight forward a little bit to keep it down. But another great shot from distance that we see Crossing in this tournament take.
We saw a lot of those in the first, as you mentioned, we saw a lot of those in the first game. Big time tussle there between number 21, Camry Smith, and number 9 for Franklin County, Mariah Price. And Mariah Price opened up the scoring for Franklin County, and yeah, I think just, both two players trying to go for the same thing, and I think the call was probably correct there. You can't really, if you put your hands on somebody's shoulders, you're giving the official, you're basically giving them a reason to make the call.
Yeah, and I mean, both players jockeying for position there. No offsides. I thought that was close. But
she plays the cross in. Stivers juggles it a little bit. I think she thought about grabbing it with her hands, but then I don't know whether she had hit it with her, or somebody else had hit it with their feet beforehand, or whether or not she just wanted to, kind of had second thoughts about coming out of her, off her goal line there.
County trying everything in the world.
Shot from distance that almost sinks in the goal.
Just trying everything they can to, body up, trying to make it difficult for Great Crossing to get a shot, and then one of them just slides open, and the ball comes right to her, and she's got a shot on goal. Lucky it just sailed high.
Yeah, that was Meredith Turner, I believe, taking the shot for Great Crossing. She was one of a handful of Great Crossing Warhawks that scored against Frankfort High in that 9-0 game. Nice bit of defensive play there by Miriam Shawika to get a foot in there. And Mo Wells gets free. Franklin County might have something here. Nice footwork. She tried to play the through ball to Price that time, and that was the combination that led to Franklin County's second goal on Tuesday night, but Great Crossing a little bit more wise to it. Shawika plays that ball into space, and Mo Wells just, unfortunately, the defender that time had a step already on her. Substitution coming in here.
John, it's a testament to these young athletes, because Mo and her sister Audrey both have had ACL tears within the last year and a half, and seeing them both back out here for their senior year, had the honor of coaching them at the Frankfort Fury U9 Academy when they were younger. Really good fundamental players since a young age. So even though they were on a different side of town, always glad to see the girls. I think we're getting an offside.
Yeah, they called that offside, although it looked like it could have been either offside, or she might have, I think if they hadn't called an offside, it might have actually come up and hit her in the hand. But Franklin County starting to ask a few questions of that Great Crossing defense.
Yeah, Crossing not able to get the ball on the offensive side of the field and keep it down there as much in the second half. Now, don't know if that's by design or if that is County has changed up their formation and able to spread them out a little more here in the second half, but County doing a lot better job of able to counter the ball and get it into their offensive side of the field.
Yeah, and something to think about too with these teams, both of them will be going to the 11th region tournament, and we actually, as Mo Wells, nice little bit of play and a nice through ball there, laying it off. Coming in to take that is Julia Mansell.
And I think we're going to have our first corner kick for Franklin County.
I think I saw 20 and it was actually 28, so I apologize. Let's take a look at this again. That's a fantastic little dinked through ball, and that was 28 Kate Alvis. Apologize for that. Wouldn't be a game if I didn't get a name wrong. Oh, nice chance there, Franklin County, to get one back. That was a nice corner, well placed.
Just unlucky that unable to capitalize on that nice setup. Mo there trying to get it in.
Yeah, you can see the knee brace you were talking about. The fact that she and her sister both having had knee surgeries.
Both of them on the Lady Flyers basketball team as well, which we know the success they've had of late.
Yeah, you have to be pretty good to make that squad.
Now on the play, that'll be.
So you were touching on the 11th region. We know all 8 teams on the girls' side that will be representing their respective districts in the 8th region. Of course, these 2 teams will represent the 41st and the 42nd. You've got Henry Clay and Frederick Douglass. Championship game is going on as we speak in Lexington. 2 districts have already been decided, the 43rd and the 44th. Lexington Catholic won the 43rd over Lafayette. So good news is you win a district. The bad news is you're going to get Lafayette first round of the region, which that's happened to us at Hills 2 years ago when we won the district. We drew Lafayette in the first round of the district, and that's just always a tough matchup playing those Lexington schools. And then the 44th, Madison Southern over Madison Central in that one. Madison Southern's girls program the last couple years really taking strides forward and becoming a pretty strong staple in the 11th region.
Yeah, that was one of the things, you know, kind of looking at the regional tournament last year and just in years past, it is a tough draw. Really almost no matter who you get, but it seems like a lot of times the winner of this tournament just gets that nightmare draw.
I'm going to say it, and I've said it on the basketball, the baseball side for years. With maybe the exception of the 7th region out of Louisville, the 11th region is the toughest region in the state of Kentucky year in and year out, because you are getting all the Lexington schools. You get to Scott County and you get all the Richmond, and then you've got great talent here in Franklin County.
That's right.
That just eeks, you know, below.
Substitution on for
you know,
Franklin
the
County.
girls here doesn't have the luxury of having a club team here locally. They have to travel. So I give credit to the coaches of our 3 schools here over the last few years of what we have been able to accomplish at the high school level. So I'm very happy with where, I said it in the first half, where the state of our game is here in the capital city.
Shawika plays ball in the midfield and finds the feet of Mo Wells. Nice job to control that. You can see what Franklin County is trying to do. They're trying to get the ball into space down either of the sides. That time she was looking for the winger down the left side. Not able to find her, but Franklin County will get a throw here. That is Kaylin Lee coming in to make the throw. Tried to find the feet of Kate Alvis, but great crossing again, getting to the ball. I think Franklin County's shown a lot more spunk so far in this first 15 minutes, and just like, you can tell it's you've got to do something. There's no use sitting back there and defending like you did in the first half, and you get beat 6-0 instead of 3-0 and never really had a chance to get forward. They definitely have a lot more attacking intent here in the second half.
No, and that's how you score goals. You've got to be aggressive. You got to get the ball on your offensive side of the field, and Franklin County has done a much better job in this half. Yeah. Almost like Hills did against County. Exactly. Coming out of the break the other night. Actually talked to Coach Hellard briefly of the Lady Wolverines at half, and I just wanted to compliment her on what she said to the girls, how they came out and played the other night in the second half. And she jokingly said that after the game, that she had told her girls that, hey, if we had played our entire season like we did the first half, that second half the other night, our season may have been different.
Nice job there by Stivers. A little bit of difficulty grabbing the ball, but that's a good job by her to recognize that, because I think if she had been a step later and getting off of her line, that might have been another goal for Great Crossing.
Yeah, one-on-one break right there, and Stivers able to corral it.
Audrey Wells looking for her sister there, unable to find her, but the ball finds its way back to her. Nice bit of strength there to keep possession.
Here we go.
Here's Kate Alvis. She's got a little bit of space to work. Some nice recovery defending there, and I think that's going the other way. And we're going to have a couple of substitutions coming in here, as we've got a nice looking sunset that we have the luxury of seeing outside of the door of our trailer here at our broadcast station. Just making a beautiful park even more beautiful. Take a look at that. I'm glad we're able to bring that to you, because even as nice as the pictures are, the pictures don't quite do it justice.
And the weather's looking to change a little bit over the next couple of days here in the capital city.
Just turning into football weather, isn't it?
Yes.
We've got a nice matchup for you next Friday. We are off this Friday, but next Friday join in with us for the Cable 10 Game of the Week. We'll be over on the west side. Again, Western Hills hosting DeSales, and that'll be next Friday night, so make sure you tune in here on the Cable 10 Game of the Week if you can't be there in person.
And the Western Hills Band will be honoring their seniors that night. One of the best bands in the land.
Worth the price of admission alone.
Yes, it is. Stephanie Wallace does a great job with that program year in and year out, and so does Franklin County and Frankfort High bands as well.
Yeah, Frankfort High's band also, we've seen them on a couple times. I think their director's doing a great job. Don't know so much about his brother, but
yeah, I would worry about him sometimes. Our companion and colleague, Clint Goins.
Yeah, I've been doing games and sporting events with Clint Goins for many a year. Just an all-around good guy. Kind of like yourself, knows every single person around here, so it's always handy to have him around. For me, not being from this area. Here. Has all the time in the world, picks her spot, and scores goal number 4 for Great Crossing, Cameron Crump. She had a goal and assist in the first game and adds to her tally. 4-0 Great Crossing, and we talked about Franklin County needing to attack a little bit more. Unfortunately, against a team as potent as Great Crossing, this is what can happen, and Crump puts it right in the 5-hole. Nice placement there. It was good by Stivers to really get in her spot there because she was right between the player and the goal, but that was just a really well-placed shot.
Yeah, it's just another unlucky break for Stivers.
That's true.
You know, how many times do you see that actually happen right between the wickets?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what might be going through her mind right there is like, what on earth is going to happen next? That is a goal for Cameron Crump. That brings her to 2 goals in the tournament, alongside 1 assist.
And you know, John, on that last goal, County had got deep into crossing territory, but the counter hit so quick.
And that's also the sign of a really good, flexible team is the ability, because you saw great crossing in the first half. Probably had 75–80% possession easy, but able to kind of switch it up as Stivers managed to grab that one well. Able to switch it up a little bit when Franklin County started committing more bodies forward and had a little bit more of the ball. They were able to kind of sit there, great crossing was, bide their time, and strike when the opportunity presented itself, and that's a sign of a good team, that tactical flexibility.
Yeah, I mean, it shows the, you know, the different styles that they can play. They can play a slow down, methodical attack, and like I like to call it power soccer, where they just try to power their way through the contact in tight quarters. That time it was a fast break.
It's Cornhusker soccer, right?
Yeah. You don't see that much anymore. More on this football than you do the actual football.
Oh, big collision there. I think Stivers did a good job just to kind of keep the danger away there, and not able to turn it into a goal there was number 3, Seton Hawkinsmith. Kind of just nudged it with their shoulder, and Stivers, sometimes, you know, really all you can do as the keeper, you might know that the attacker's gonna get to the ball first, but you just make yourself big, try to make yourself as much of an impediment to that goal as possible within the scope of the rules, and that was a good job by Stivers that time.
Yeah, you just try to, you know, the contact's coming. You just kind of brace for it, get loose a little bit, and, you know, just like you said, get in the way. You can't impede the player, but you can get in their way.
Great crossing. Starting to go through the gears here, so to speak.
That'll be a corner kick for a great crossing.
They'll get a corner kick here. We're seeing kind of a different look than we've seen from them the entire tournament now, because they're sitting back just a little bit, allowing Franklin County a little bit of possession, and they've been pretty effective at countering so far. And here comes the corner coming in from Meredith Turner. Nice lift on that, just outside, but that was a really nice corner, and just not the kind of direction that Gracie Gordon needed on that. But right place, just not the right contact.
Yeah, I mean, that takes practice, getting those corners set up, and right there, Gordon again in the right place. That's good
contact, but that is so much harder to do than it actually looks, to be able to get any kind of control on that and pace. As you can see, a little bit of maybe the residual damage of having to do so much defending in this game on Schwieke there, looking as a lot of the defenders are just a little bit tired, but no quit in this team at all. Nice stop there, sliding stop there by Kaylin Lee. She will concede the corner, but keeps the cross out.
Yeah, you know, win the fight another day, as the old saying is.
Perfect timing, too.
Yep, made contact with nothing but the ball. No upending of the offensive player.
Cross comes in, and that came, and that's one of those situations as the play is still active and Franklin County still trying to clear it. Finally manages to. That's one of those situations. I think that's probably a good no call there by the official, because you could see that Kaylin Lee, she had her hands exactly where you're supposed to have them. She had them over her chest, and that's about as unintentional of an unintentional handball as you're going to get. Nothing she could do about it, and I think that's the right no call.
Yeah, I think so too.
Let's take a look at this again. Well, yeah, maybe kind of generous a little bit there.
I think in maybe a closer game,
yeah,
that might have been called the other way.
Yeah, that's a good point, Chris. I think that's, upon further review, I tend to agree with you.
Yeah, we're lucky that we get to
Boy
see.
Took one right there. This is a rough job.
And they get a workout down here on that far side.
Oh, yeah. If anybody was with us on Tuesday night, we had maybe the most high-energy, high-effort ball boy I think I've ever seen working over there in front of the bleachers. So I don't know if he'll make an appearance again tonight, but if he does, we're all in for a treat.
County just trying everything they can to take the possession away from crossing.
Shot from distance, and Stivers takes a nasty bounce, but that time able to get down on top of the ball before any Warhawks came around. Oh, let's see. This is what I was talking about, Chris. That is 100% effort. I'm just thinking, if I had tried to run at that pace, how long it would be before I could walk comfortably again.
I could tell you
certainly
how long,
would be a couple days.
I could tell you how long it would be for me, and I don't know that I could run that much distance.
Yeah. I think they'd still be waiting for the ball if it was me. As you see, Audrey Wells, number 17. Coming onto the field is number 28, Kate Alvis. Four nothing your score. Great crossing, adding one to their total from halftime on a Cameron Crump goal. But nothing to hang your head about if you're Franklin County. They've really fought well defensively, and here in the second half even had a couple of chances and nice bits of possession, but great crossing, really just kind of proving here why they were the #1 seed coming into this tournament.
I don't care to announce what tournament comes.
A little bit of camaraderie on the battlefield there.
Nice to see this late in the season.
And both these teams will go on to the region, and especially for a team that's, as we see the shot from distance, just hooked it a little bit there. That was number 15, I believe, Bailey Maxwell. And we're probably going to see great crossing work, you know, go a little deeper on their bench here. But, you know, for Franklin County, you know, regardless of the score of this game, you've got one more game at least.
Yeah.
And then
and what that does is that builds confidence for these younger players moving forward. And I mean, you're looking at County is probably going to play Madison Southern, Lexington Catholic, or the winner of the 42nd, which is either going to be Douglas or Henry Clay.
Not an enviable matchup among that group.
No, not at all.
Certainly some would be better than others, but
Great Crossan, in retrospect, is going to get Madison Central, Lafayette, or the loser of the 42nd, which is no easy task for either one of these teams coming out of the 41st district.
But there's something to be said for playing a team as tough as some of the teams they're going to be facing, because you get to see, you know, no disrespect to anything that anybody's been able to do here in this tournament, because we've seen some great soccer being played, but you get to see what it's meant to look like.
Yes.
And you get a first-hand example, and that there's something that you can take from that, and especially if you're able to go in there and compete.
Well, and two, you know, the last two state champions on the girls' side have come out of the 11th region. Catholic last year, Lafayette the year before. Lafayette won it all as a 2-seed.
Got a player down here for the Flyers, and they're going to allow play to continue. Now they bring it to the stop. That is Kaylin Lee, the junior, went down hard. I think just shaken up a little bit. I think she'll be all right. Maybe just, I'm sure that was quite painful. Gets a nice round of applause coming up. She's going to try to walk it off here.
Coach is like, are you good? Referees, are
One
you
thing
good?
I have to say, and this is not in any, let's take a look at the replay here. Just a coming together between Kaylin Lee and number 30, Sydney Keister. And looks like Lee will come off, and coming on for the Flyers is Ryan Dispinette, the sophomore. But one thing I have to say, and this is not trying to sound condescending or putting faint praise at all on any of these girls are really tough.
Yeah,
and you see it, you know, you see a lot of them just like, you know, there are a lot of collisions, a lot of banging around, and you know, two of them, and you see all these girls just getting up and getting on with it, and that's what you like to see.
Yeah, and a shot like that, knee to knee.
Oh, I felt that. That was exactly like knee to knee, bone to bone like that. That's tough, and that's really painful.
And you know, soccer, as a football coach, you got to respect these athletes that play, because they're out there no pads, and I mean it is a contact sport.
Yeah, the shin pad doesn't keep it from hurting. It just keeps it from inhibiting your ability to walk. If you get kicked in the shin, you still know you got kicked. I do have a tiny bit of experience playing soccer. I played a couple of truncated seasons as a freshman and sophomore for Lincoln County.
The Patriots.
The Patriots, I would say fledgling would still be the word for it. It's a big collision there in front of the Great Crossing goal, or Mo Wells hitting the ground. She's back up, thankfully, and let's take a look at the replay here. But that's one of the initiation things they do. They always make sure that your shin pads.
Oh yeah.
You have one designated person who just goes around and puts everything that he can into kicking that shin pad, and I don't think it's really to test the shin pad, to be honest with you. I'm starting to have my suspicions. Nice back heel from Mo Wells, and I believe that was Audrey Wells going to the ground. Here's the shot from a distance. That was number 21 for Franklin County, Brett Hall, taking the shot.
Good counter there by County. unable to corral it down that sideline.
Want to give one more shout out while we got a second here to our sponsors here on the Cable 10 Game of the Week's broadcast of the 41st District Soccer Tournament. It is Mariah Price trying to go to work there on the left side for Franklin County. Want to give a big thanks, big collision there again. Want to give a big thank you to our sponsors, David Tolles Auto Pro and J.O. Osborne with Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. Thank you for helping us bring you this tournament here on Cable 10. That was a big-time collision there. And that is Ryan Dispinet, excuse me.
And it's right in the ribs.
Yeah, that's a tough one, and she's certainly feeling the effects of that.
And that's one of those 50-50 balls that, you know, you got two competitors going full speed after a ball, and, you know, sometimes, you know, those tough collisions like that happen.
Yeah. Trainer out to check on Ryan Dispinet. As you see the great crossing bench in the background, they will go on to repeat their victory in this tournament from 2021. But Franklin County, I think, making a pretty good account of themselves here tonight. Had to do a lot of defending, and they've hung tough through it. And they're gonna have a corner here. You know, it would be a huge morale boost to get a goal on the scoreboard here before the end of this one.
Yeah, and here's a great opportunity.
Not a bad ball in.
Just great crossing.
And I think maybe it's one of those things, you know, Franklin County didn't have a lot of bodies committed forward on that either. Let's take a look at a replay here. We're gonna see another shot of that collision. That one hurts. That one hurts just watching it again. Here comes great crossing the other way. The cross comes in. And still alive with the ball. It's great crossing. That time it's cleared out.
Crossing does a great job of using their bodies and able to turn the ball legally. They get the defender on that hip, and then just kind of switch feet and turn.
Yeah, just a lot of good mechanics. So we've got a stoppage of play here, trying to figure out, it may have been a player down for a second, but didn't really see it. Regardless, we're underway again. Little ping pong action right there, and great crossing comes back, but the shot from distance is going to go well wide from Sydney Keister. The sophomore who you see there, great crossing, taking this opportunity to get some of their bench players some playing time here in the championship game. Got to give some credit to the organizers of this tournament. It really, you know, we talked about this being a picturesque venue for this tournament, but as you see there, we've got some of the cool uplighting on the overhead lights in the blue and orange, and they've really made this place look even better than it normally does. And again, just a fantastic place to watch soccer.
Yeah, and John, you brought up you being from Lincoln County. The Lincoln County girls are playing Boyle tonight for the 45th District championship game.
I'd say my mom is probably headed to that game. She and her husband was a school board member and a passionate follower of all Patriot sports.
I'm familiar with the Patriots growing up in Danville myself.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a real Sophie's choice for you right there between Boyle County and Lincoln County.
Yeah, I won't. At least it's being held at Danville.
It's true. Danville's had some pretty good soccer teams over the years as well. And that's another really cool spot to watch a game if you've ever been there. Well, you've been there.
Yeah, just outside of Admiral Stadium at the complex down there.
Those teams both playing for, well, they'll be both going to the 12th region.
That is correct. I always call that the 27-127
it's true.
Region.
Missed a handball right there, I believe, by Audrey Wells. She goes to the ground anyway, so that'll be a goal kick for Lady Warhawks. Let's take a look at this again. So we've got 2:37 left in this one. I don't know, I didn't really see, I thought I saw it kind of pop up and hit her in the hand, but I think that might have been good.
And that should be a corner.
Yeah, that's a good call. I mean, it should be a corner or a foul.
And County not getting a break that time.
Yeah,
but it did go off the defender.
Yeah, and maybe that's a little bit of, well, we didn't call that other one where it bounced up and you kind of had your hands out a little bit. We didn't call that one, so maybe we'll let this one slide a little bit too. And those, thankfully, they are going to blow the whistle on because those are the ones that can kind of get ugly quick. As Franklin County trying to get one on the scoreboard here before the end of this one with about a minute and a half left. And they will get a corner out of it. It's Kimora Tillman, who hasn't had a lot to do there in goal for Great Crossing, not able to get to that one. And this one's nice because we can just look out the door and watch it.
Yeah, right here, literally.
Right in our living room.
Right in the living room here.
I'm just waiting for one of these ladies to hook up one of those crosses in. It's Mo Wells square away on goal. Here's Price, still working for it. You can tell how much Franklin County wants this goal. Hit Boateng in the feet, and Great Crossing able to clear it out, and they keep their clean sheet intact.
1 minute remaining.
We got a minute left. Franklin County will have a throw right in the middle of the field in front of the bleachers there, and you can tell the Flyer fans really just hope to see the Lady Flyers notch one on the scoreboard before this one's over. Nice control there to bring the ball down for Great Crossing. I believe that was I guess that was number 10, Kaylee Tyson, still in the game there. Maybe more of a midfield role. And that's the benefit for Great Crossing when you're up by this much too. You can not only clear your benches, but give your starters a few reps at a position that might not be their first position.
Yeah, and that pays dividends down the stretch. If you have an injury, you're able to fill in and know that you're not going to have a drop-off if you have to make a sub.
Well, Great Crossing did not have a drop-off in their form tonight. 4-0, the victory for the Lady Warhawks over the Lady Flyers of Franklin County. Great Crossing claiming the championship for another year in the 41st District. Lady Flyers fighting valiantly, but falling to the Lady Warhawks. Both these teams, of course, will go on to the 11th region, and it looks like we're going to have a trophy presentation here in just a little bit, as the trophy's being presented to both teams for participating here. And that does it for us here. We'll have some highlights coming up. Stay with us here on the Cable 10 Game of the Week.
The Game of the Week Play of the Game is brought to you by Bill McCoy Insurance Agency, celebrating over 47 years in business. With over 15 companies to shop and collectively over 100 years of experience, call, visit us, or request quotes on BillMcCoyInsuranceAgency.com.
You look pretty busy, friend. Why try and manage that much insurance by yourself? A local trusted choice independent insurance agent can guide you through it. We'll help with the research, help determine your coverage needs at the right prices, assist with claims, and adapt to your family's needs as they change at no extra cost to you. So, we'll do your insurance. You just do you.
Game of the Week is brought to you by Expree Credit Union. Expree Credit Union wishes all of our local teams a great season. Score $5 for your school while showing your support with a spirited debit card, featuring your school's colors and mascot. Who will raise the most? Open an Expree Spirited account today and let the rivalry continue. Federally insured by NCUA.
Expree Credit Union wishes all our local teams a great season. Score $5 for the high school of your choice simply by opening a Spirited account featuring your school colors and mascot on your debit card. Show your support. Flyers, Panthers, or Wolverines. Who will raise the most? Go to Expree.org today. Choose wisely. Western Hills, Franklin County, Frankfort High. Let the rivalry continue. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Welcome back to a sunset-soaked, try saying that 3 times fast, Sauer Field, where we have just seen the completion of the 41st District Tournament Championship game on the girls' side. Great Crossing taking down Franklin County 4-0, and Great Crossing coming over, getting a nice applause from their fan base. Well-deserved. Everybody making the trip over from Scott County, and Franklin County also getting a nice reception from their fans that are here. And we have wrapped this one up, and now it's time to take a look at our Bill McCoy Insurance play of the game. And the play of the game here is a nice cross and finish from Gracie Gordon. That was goal number 2, I believe, for Great Crossing.
Yeah, it was a great corner set up. Gordon comes in from the back corner post, off the top of the 18, perfectly diagrammed. You can tell they had practiced that because we saw that set up a couple other times on corner kicks, and a great job executing there.
Yeah, just how you draw it up. And this tournament went just the way that our Expree Credit Union player of the game, Kaylee Tyson, would have drawn it up if you had asked her. She dominated this tournament, and especially tonight, had several shots on goal in the first half of the distance. Just great footwork to get herself a little space, and got her reward for it here. That slips past Anna Stivers in the goal. Kaylee Tyson, that was her 4th goal of the tournament. And because of that, she's our player of the game, and she's just a freshman, Chris, so that goes with our overall theme of the youth movement here on the part of all of these teams for the 41st District Tournament.
Yeah, all 4 teams are young. The future is bright. A lot of good soccer to be played over the next couple of years in the 41st. John, real quick, I was looking at something. Great Crossing's first season in the 41st District was in 19. Franklin County beat them in the district championship. Then in 20, Hills beat Great Crossing in the district championship. And then the last 2 years, you've had Hills lost to Great Crossing last year, and then Franklin County loses to Great Crossing tonight. So it's been a 3-team race in the district the last 4 years, but a lot of balance.
Yeah, a lot of balance, a lot of good competition, and exciting times ahead for all of these teams. Stay with us here. We've got the boys' action coming up for you. That will be the Great Crossing Warhawks taking on the host team, the Frankfort High Panthers. We'll have all the action for you. For Chris Cole, I'm John Piesheimer. Thanks for watching the girls' 41st District Tournament here on the Cable 10 Game of the Week.
Cameron Smith. Gracie Gordon. Julia Baker. And your district tournament MVP is Kaylee Tyson. Let's give these ladies a round of applause. And to present your team awards is Frankfort High School Athletic Director Amy Dungan. And your 41st District runner-ups, Franklin County High School. And your 41st District champions, Great Crossing High School.